Say that may have been a case of mistaken identity that led to the death of a jitney driver. That driver was shot and killed early this morning while on duty in McKeesport. Good afternoon. I'm Stacy Smith.
And I'm Kimberly Gill. Allegheny County Police say someone shot into the vehicle but may have been looking for someone else. Heather Abraham explains.
I spoke with John Hass's wife, who was planning on throwing her husband a surprise 60th birthday in a few months, but his life was cut short early this morning. She is now calling for the person who pulled the trigger to be found and arrested. John Hass would have celebrated his 10th wedding anniversary this summer, and he's also one of 7 siblings. But last night, after picking up a fare from the Crawford Village housing complex, the jitney driver was shot and killed. Hass's wife was too terrified to show her face on camera.
I can't imagine what I saw at the hospital with a bullet in my husband's head. I want justice for my husband so I can rest.
Police believe that the gunman shot at the wrong car. Allegheny County police say Hass's vehicle resembles that of a gang member who was involved in a prior shooting. The female passenger that Hass had just picked up was in the back seat and was uninjured in the shooting.
We had a great life. I mean, I loved him so much. I would have gave up anything just to be with him. I don't know what I'm going to do now.
Police say this was one of 4 shootings in McKeesport overnight and believe this is part of ongoing disputes between rival drug organizations. Hass's wife says it's hard to believe that a man who was loved by so many became an innocent victim in that nonsense. Today, she was remembering something her husband once told her.
He told me, anything happens to him, don't be weak, be strong. You promised me, and I made that promise.
Allegheny County Police found some surveillance video. They were reviewing that today. They are still investigating this case, and if you have any information, you are asked to give them a call. Reporting in McKeesport, Heather Abraham, KDKA TV News.
Well, there have been other issues involving jitney drivers lately. Earlier this month, someone opened fire on a jitney in Marshall, Shadeland. Nobody was hurt there. And in April, a female jitney driver was shot in the face and killed as part of a robbery attempt in Wilkinsburg.
It was reported as a holdup at a local hotel. The clerk told police a person in a disguise robbed him while on the job. But authorities say that wasn't what really happened. Trina Orlando is live now with the details. Trina?
Yeah, the clerk says he was the victim of a violent robbery. Now he is facing charges. He is accused of orchestrating the whole ordeal. Monday, May 20th, around 9:20 p.m., state police rushed to the Howard Johnson Motel in New Stanton. The clerk there, 27-year-old Joshua Hirschberger, told police that he had been robbed. Someone had threatened to stab him with a knife if he didn't hand over all of the motel's cash. But as police questioned Hirschberger, they realized that things didn't add up.
We were able to determine that he fabricated the entire story, and he had a co-conspirator.
Hirschberger later admitted to plotting the fake robbery with a woman staying at the hotel. He gave 30-year-old Haley Nichols nearly $2,000. She took off, and he told the police a story. The story was so convincing at the time, a police helicopter spent about an hour searching for the suspect. A costly search that now has police seeking another nearly $2 grand in restitution.
We spent approximately $1,900 of Commonwealth money when it comes to the helicopter and paying the employees of the state police to try and investigate this fabricated story.
State police say false reports are no joking matter. They take up time and money and also put people in danger.
There's a lot of extreme danger when it comes to someone making a 911 phone call saying that there's a robbery that took place with a weapon. We are driving and responding to that location at a high rate of speed. The police officers are in danger. And even though they're driving as safely as they possibly can, there's still a risk when it comes to driving that fast to the people in the public.
And Hirschberger is no longer working at the hotel. Both he and Nichols are facing misdemeanor charges. We are live in Westmoreland County. Trina Orlando, KDKA TV News.
Okay, time to get you caught up on your forecast right now. John Burnett is here with that. JB, I think the utility companies are really going to like the weather because This weekend, I have my furnace on. By the end of the week, I'm going to have my air conditioning on.
Sure
You don't get that little break where you're not using any of it.
That's right. The AC should be cranking right now in a lot of homes, Kimberly, because we're sitting here in the mid-80s. Humidity and dew point levels are on the rise. Tomorrow will be even steamier than today, and the same goes for Friday. Then, over the weekend, big changes with storms rolling in. We'll get to all that coming up in the 5-day forecast. Meanwhile, we've got a couple of storms out there now, but they're well north of Interstate 80. Yeah, in fact, right up there where we had that little tornado, that EF0 tornado that touched down around Edinburgh yesterday. That moved off and into Warren County late yesterday evening around 8 o'clock. Tonight, we've just got a couple of popcorn variety showers and storms in the same general vicinity. That's where the warm front is. The rest of us are looking at partly sunny skies. 83 degrees right now at Pittsburgh International with partly cloudy conditions. Winds out of the west-southwest at 9 miles an hour. And I think things will remain quiet overnight, albeit warm and a little on the sticky side. Partly cloudy, winds out of the southwest at 4 to 8 with lows in the mid to upper 60s and highs tomorrow and Friday, too, approaching 90 degrees. More on that in my full 5-day forecast, including the weekend outlook, coming up. Stace?
Thanks, John. Here's a little bit more of what you mentioned. That suspected tornado that touched down just south of Erie last night, and it did leave some damage in its wake. Home video shows the funnel cloud near Edinburgh. You can see it there. The residents say trailers were shaking and trees were tipping over as the tornado moved through the area. Some debris also was found scattered 70 yards away, and there was damage in Union City. We should also tell you no serious injuries were reported.
Staying on the same subject of weather here, storms are starting to form in the middle section of the country. Forecasters say there is a significant threat of severe weather, including more tornadoes in parts of Oklahoma and Kansas. Susan McGinnis has more.
People in parts of Kansas are assessing the damage from tornadoes and preparing for more bad weather today. Tuesday's twister in Marysville damaged businesses and homes.
It was so quick. By the time I got to the kitchen, I knew I could hear that it was a tornado.
Kathy Yeager is trying to find keepsakes from her daughter's childhood.
2001 state champs.
North of Topeka, a tornado hit Corning and ripped apart the Becker family home.
We had the 5 kids in the basement in the shower, and we were down there and we were had a blanket over our head and stuff and just prayed, and it hit, and it was as loud as they say it is.
Multiple tornadoes swept through Kansas Tuesday, and many of the same areas are in the storm's path again. Wichita is one of the areas under the greatest threat. Clouds are rolling in, the wind is picking up.
She goes.
Parts of Kansas and Oklahoma have the greatest chance of another outbreak this evening, according to forecasters. And severe weather is likely to stick around through the end of the week. Susan McGinnis, CBS News, Wichita, Kansas.
Also, donations continue to pour in to help the people of Moore, Oklahoma, who were devastated by that tornado last week. The Red Cross says it has been inundated by people willing to give their time and money. Oklahoma native and country western singer Blake Shelton and his wife Miranda Lambert are headlining a benefit concert tonight, which is called Healing in the Heartland. On Wall Street, well, things weren't that good today. Everything was pointing down. Let's take a live picture of the big board on the New York Stock Exchange. And for the day, the Dow Jones Industrial Average is going to give up more than 100 points, dropping back down below that 15,400 level. Also on the negative side, the S&P 500 and the NASDAQ. We will take a look at all the final closing numbers a little bit later in the newscast.
A California woman is being called a hero for her actions after she saw a car plunge into a swimming pool. You'll hear how she freed the 3 people who were trapped inside.
Well, you don't see this every day, a pony walking around inside of a liquor store. But it wasn't just that upset the store's owner. We'll have more details still to come.
The Feed the Kids Summer Telethon is going on right now. When school lunch programs end, many local kids go hungry during the summer. We spoke to Joyce Davis from the Lincoln Park Community Center.
One of our families has parents who are both working full-time. They go to college. They have 8 children who rely on the school lunch program during the school year. They really need help in the summer.
We also spoke with local parents who depend on the support of the food bank.
I recently lost my job, and Chad's working part-time, and we're struggling. I have a 14-year-old daughter. She is a type 1 diabetic, and it's very important she gets her good nutrition. I was so relieved when I found out about the food bank.
I didn't even know there were people out there that could help.
I was so grateful I actually cried.
Help feed the kids this summer by calling 412-575-2300 till 8 p.m. or go to KDKA.com.
Hi, I'm Jan. Welcome to Toyota.
We're looking for a car with great MPG.
You've come at the right time. It's our Toyota Time sales event.
I remember from my research that Toyota is the most fuel-efficient full-line automaker.
You're right. Great memory.
I never forget anything.
You can say that again. Whoops.
Now get $1,000 cash back on Prius C. Or pick a bigger Prius V with 0% APR. Or a liftback with 0% APR, including special editions. Toyota, let's go places.
At King's, we're for big appetites and small appetites. Gravy smothered and chocolate covered appetites. Healthy appetites, exotic appetites. I want it right now. Or just something light appetites. Simple appetites, fancy appetites.
What can we get you today?
How about the value of the week? Our buffalo chicken salad, stacked high with fries, egg wedges, and cheese, $1 off all week long. Bring your appetite to King's.
This KDKA News Report is brought to you by King's Family Restaurant.
A California woman is being called a hero after she rescued 3 people whose car plunged into a swimming pool and sank. A grandmother had just picked up her 2 grandchildren when she lost control, went through a brick wall, and plunged into the water. A neighbor saw what happened and rushed to help after she heard crying. At first, the rescue was tricky because the car doors were stuck.
And I just had the girls unbuckle and come out to me, and then the grandmother got her through the window and put them on the side of the pool.
A large crane was brought in to remove the vehicle from the pool. The grandmother and her 2 grandchildren are said to be doing okay.
Well, you might have heard cleanup in aisle 2. A liquor store owner was upset when a man brought his pet into a store. It wasn't just any pet, it was a pony, and you can see the animal being led by its owner in this video from Warren, Rhode Island. And things, well, they got a little ugly when the pony started to relieve itself on the floor.
The horse walks in, and all of a sudden, he just starts doing his thing all over the floor. He just seemed a little disengaged with what was going on around him, because he didn't have a clue that his horse even did that. So I was very, very puzzled by that.
Well, the police were not far behind. They found the pony's owner outside, and they made him go back into the store and clean up the mess. Despite a train derailment and explosion, officials now say the area is safe. We'll have an update coming up from Baltimore.
And the Gateway Clipper fleet is celebrating a special anniversary, and we'll show you its newest edition. That's still to come.